Audible tune, Fall In. It's the Joe and the Jarhead Show, and it is freaking cold in the bunker tonight.
It's not that bad.
It's pretty bad.
Joe's just a wimp.
No,
I'll fix that.
Weird, because he's the one that came in here complaining about the need to insulate this place, so, yeah.
I just want to help get it done, dude.
Okay.
That's the army way to leave things half done. That's good enough. We'll just stay in here and freeze.
Okay.
I'm Jarhead, and this is the Joe and the Jarhead Show.
Yes, sir.
We got headline highlights. Ooh ha ha. I beat you, sucker. Nah.
You can have that. That's all you, dude.
You want me to have...
I want you to do it for yourself.
No, I'm
Jarhead.
good.
All
right.
Your intro from now on.
Headlines coming at you. We're going to talk about a big terrorist getting blowed up, or blowing himself up, and some family members.
Yeah.
Like a terrorist way. We're going to talk about some Canadian socialism. They're pretty good at it.
I mean, if you can say you're good at socialism.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's
so if you suck
man,
really
I am
good,
super awesome at slamming my head in a car door. Like, is that really something you're proud of?
Good job, buddy.
You know, well played to you, I guess.
And then we're going to talk about some Texas stupidity with transgenderism, but they backtracked and sort of fixed it.
That's actually a good story.
Yeah.
Much as it may not seem it at the moment.
But first, let's do some history, shall we?
I like it. This week in history, 1919, the Volstead Act passes.
Is that Vulcan?
No.
Spock.
No. Yes, the Vulcan Act passed. It was very logical.
Yes. Very good.
The Volstead Act created the 18th Amendment, which is prohibition.
Oh, no alcohol.
No booze. So this was actually, and this blew my mind, Congress passed this over the veto of President Woodrow Wilson.
Oh, wait, so they tried to get it through, then he vetoed it, then they got enough votes.
Support behind it to override the presidential veto.
Has to be 2/3.
Yes.
That's insane.
Right?
Wow.
Right? A number of things strike me about this. One, Woodrow Wilson opposed government intervention. He never did. This is the guy, ladies and gentlemen, that gave you income tax.
Oh.
That
you don't
guy.
like him.
He was a Nazi sympathizer.
Poor guy.
Not a Nazi himself, I guess. But yeah, he definitely had nice things to say about it. He thought that was a great idea. I mean, he openly met with communists. The dude was the worst president in the history of ever. He was the most openly racist president we've had, I think, ever, although Johnson was a close second.
It's weird that you give him that title and not like Obama or Clinton. That's interesting.
Those guys are Bush League compared to him, compared to Woodrow
Jeez.
Wilson. This dude was amazingly bad. But he never met government intervention that he didn't like. He never met government control of society that he didn't like, apparently, except for prohibition. I guess he liked him some booze.
Man, he would be like the darling of the Democratic Socialists today.
He would.
Wow.
But, so Congress passed it over his veto. And this is one of those things where, it was the best of intentions. This is, alcohol consumption to excess is never a good thing. The only thing worse than consuming alcohol to excess, I think, is trying to legislate morality. Which is exactly what Congress tried to do. They tried to legislate, freedoms away from people. You have the freedom to drink yourself to death if that's what you want to do. I don't recommend it, but you have that right.
Marines tried really hard to do that.
Man, do you ever.
On the daily.
I mean, my soldiers could drink. They could handle themselves some booze, but man, you Marines have that I'm pretty sure it's a requirement. Like you need it to live.
They take that work hard and play hard thing to the extreme.
Right? But what this did, on paper it got rid of booze. In actuality, all it did was set up the rise of Al Capone. It set up an entire industry of booze running because people still want booze. Mm-hmm. Amazing we didn't learn this because we made, all these drugs illegal and they still come into the country. It's weird.
So making it illegal didn't fix the problem,
Didn't fix the problem, just created multi-million dollar, and this is 1920s, multi-million dollars. So these guys are like the Bill Gateses of the day.
Yeah, Capone was filthy rich.
Stinking,
he was like Scrooge McDuck diving in
right,
rich.
He was filthy, stinking rich because he controlled an empire of things that were illegal, but things that everyone wanted. Mm-hmm. You cannot legislate morality.
So that's kind of hard because in a way, I agree with you, but at the same time, laws have to be based on some sort of principles, right? A line in the sand somewhere where morale.
Right, but the whole idea behind the Constitution isn't telling people what they can do, it's telling the government what it can't do to people.
Wow, I love that. That's awesome.
That was the whole point.
Yes.
It's the only constitution on earth that does not provide positive liberties. It doesn't spell out what people's rights are. It spells out that everything in life is yours by right, and the government does not have the right to take that freedom from you. So this was an example of that. They took a freedom from people, and they ended up in 1933 repealing it with the 21st Amendment.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
You know?
Huh. What would that be like today if they tried to pass it? Obviously, it's not going to pass. There's too many people who love their booze, but
yeah,
I mean, to give the government that kind of control today, you think some people
take away internet.
don't give them that idea.
Internet's bad for you because there's bad stuff on it. You can't have it anymore. Oh boy.
That would create some internet gangsters.
Right.
Okay. What are we going to talk about the terrorists first?
I think we should.
Let's do it.
Okay. So yesterday, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the head of ISIS, and I'm gonna have to flip to my. This wasn't the one. First
No. Abu Big Dead Dude is his
Abu
name.
Big Dead Dude.
Yes.
Al Bag of Duty.
Let's just keep going. What else?
Yes. Oh man.
Big bag booty.
There's so many things I could say, but
try to keep it PG here,
yeah,
folks.
that's my problem. That's the hitch, because I'm an infantryman. I could do this all night. He was smoked by the Army. Yep, Navy SEALs didn't get this one. This was Delta Force and Rangers through and through. Well done, gentlemen.
Way to come in second place, Army. Good job.
No. Let's see. What did?
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Yeah. What did Bin Laden do? He knocked down some towers and then went and hid in a cave for the next 15 years. Good for him. All right. What did Bag of Duty do? Oh yeah, he controlled half of Syria and Iraq for like 15 minutes till we decided that leaving was a bad idea and went back in and smoked his people. Yeah, so, and I love this. Every article you read talks about his Delta Force and the Rangers raiding his lair.
Really? It said lair?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my underground lair.
We need a lair. Can we not call this the bunker anymore? Can it be the lair?
Absolutely not. I refuse to be associated with al-Baghdadi.
Oh,
anyway, so it was in Idlib in northern Syria. They ended up chasing him down a dead-end tunnel, which, why would you do that? I don't know. Anyway, chased him down a dead-end tunnel where he ran and hid behind 3 of his own kids before detonating a suicide vest and killing all 4 of them.
He killed 3 of his own kids.
3 of his own kids.
Why? What purpose does this serve?
Because he died like he lived, a child-murdering oxygen thief.
Wow.
Yeah.
Special kind of evil.
Yep, absolutely. And 2 of his wives were also killed before they could detonate the suicide vests they were wearing.
Oh, during the same raid?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
They were there for like 2 hours whacking people.
Man, just taking out the whole family.
Yeah, it was like 11 people killed, I think, and it was like him and I want to say it was the ISIS like propaganda minister or that guy. Anyway, there's a bunch of high-ranking folks there that got greased, which was, I mean, couldn't have happened to a nicer bunch of guys.
Awesome.
Not one U.S. service member even wounded. Warms my heart.
That's awesome. GoArmy.com.
So you had something special you wanted to jump into?
Our producers liked our shit out for the Army there.
Yep.
Okay, so the Washington Post picked up this headline, obviously, about Big Bad Dead Dude.
I was going to cover this, but you run with this, brother.
Oh, yes. So their headline, I am not making this up, reads right here, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, Big Dead Dude. Austere religious scholar, helm of Islamic State, dies at 48.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't even the headline. That was in the obituaries. They're mourning this dude.
Austere religious scholar.
Right. They've changed it since. I looked it up just before the show started, and it's like, extremist religious scholar or something like that now.
It's too late. It is too late.
Yep,
so for like 2 hours prior to filming this show tonight, I've been on Twitter because the highest trending hashtag right now, WAPO death notices.
Yes!
Washington
those are glorious.
Post death notices. So I got to share a couple of these. I can't help myself. So you got Emperor Palpatine, austere force scholar, and creator of the galaxy's greatest military, dead from a fall. Hannibal Lecter, well-known forensic psychiatrist and food connoisseur, dead at 81. John Wilkes Booth, acclaimed actor and Democratic Party activist, dies at 26. Oh, man. I'm not kidding. So 2 hours. Hang on. My favorite one. This one doesn't even have a name. It's just blank. So blank, longtime Clinton friend and confidant, dead of seemingly natural causes. Yes. If you have a Twitter account, I highly recommend it. Go look at the hashtag WAPO death notices. I'm going to be keeping doing. Oh, yeah, this is.
Oh, it's so good.
That will never get old.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Washington Post.
So I got to ask this of CNN and MSNBC. So was this a gutsy call? I remember them talking about how when Obama ordered the raid on the bin Laden compound, man, that was a gutsy call. Gutsy call? We've been trying to smoke this dude for like 13 years.
Well, and what kills me is that the photo that the White House tweeted out with the whole situation room and everybody's around President Trump, like, oh, look at the times, it doesn't match. Yes, it does. It's fine because you know what? Where Syria's at is not the exact same time zone as Washington, D.C.
I'm just saying.
Idiots. But it is still trending higher than the people who coming out and correcting that tweet right there.
Yeah. Newsweek's big thing was ISIS already has a new leader. Well, no stuff, Sherlock. Seriously, that it's a military organization. You always have a second in command and a third. It's presidential line of succession, just like we have here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They can keep fighting over that for that leadership.
Couldn't happen to a better guy.
That's what you get. All right. Speaking of better dudes, how about Justin Trudeau? Better dude. Yes? No?
Like half a step better. I mean, he doesn't kill people that I'm aware of. So,
I
mean, he's better than a Clinton, but...
So, Justin Trudeau, he just won re-election.
In Canada.
Yes.
As the Prime Minister, correct?
Prime Minister of Canada. That is correct. So, his party, they actually didn't carry the popular vote. So, there's actually 4 main parties up in Canada, right? But the 2 big ones are his party, the Liberal Party, and then there's the Conservative Party. The Conservative Party actually won with 34% of the vote. His Liberal Party got 33%. However, the Liberal Party still has more seats in their house. So they have a House of Commons, kind of like Great Britain, right? And it's kind of like ours, but ours isn't called the House of Commons. It's called like the House of...
Representatives?
I was going to say rejects, but...
Okay.
House of...
I have to assume you're going to screw stuff up, man. You're a Marine. I mean,
House of Infidels? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. So, what I love about this, and what it kind of does inspire me a little bit, because of these 4 major parties, if you look at like the electoral map, like we have in America, right? It's just all red and blue. If you look at the United States, when it happens, it's the Republicans are red, Democrats are blue, right?
Right.
And when you look at the American map after Electoral College, it's like 90% of the landmass is red, right? You got the coasties that are blue and Chicago,
right,
that are blue. It's like the same thing in Canada, but it's the parties that are getting like no votes. So they're getting 1-2% of the vote that have like 90% of the landmass.
Yes, but 90% of Canada's landmass is uninhabited.
I know. But it's still cool. And it's got like 4 polka dots of blue, and they're the ones.
Yeah, those are the only population centers in those areas.
It's still cool.
Like if Moose voted, I'm sure they'd be like overwhelming.
Yes. That should be a thing. How do you know they're not voting up there? They might be voting down here for Democrats.
I mean, if dead people vote down here for Democrats, and I'm sure Moose could too.
So what I love about this is that neither of those parties actually carry a majority. Isn't that cool? So one of them alone cannot pass a bill with just the people they have in the House of Commons.
Good.
Because the other 2 parties carry 60 total seats, which is enough to carry away that majority.
Outstanding.
I would love to see that in America.
Yes.
Even if it doesn't take away a majority from the Democrats or Republicans, I would just love to see 60 seats taken away from them.
60 seats is the majority. There's only 100.
In the Senate, yes, but not
in
the House.
Oh, yeah, no, there's like 400 plus in there, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Let's try. Okay. So, yeah, a little bit of inspiration, but I can't believe those guys put Justin Trudeau in again. I mean, they didn't learn their lesson the first time around.
I'm just saying, you get the government you vote for.
How do you always say you vote in your...
You can vote your way into socialism, but you have to shoot your way back out.
Something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me know how that works out for you, Canada.
We'll watch from afar.
Yep.
Woohoo! Okay. Transgenderism. Texas.
Oh, gosh. So this started out last week as a fairly horrible story.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Yeah. So a jury in Texas, what is going on? Like, seriously, y'all are going the way of Colorado. You need to fix that. Stop letting Californians in.
Texas is supposed to be like the bread and butter of America, right?
Yeah. But a Texas jury decided that in a custody battle between an ex-husband and wife, their custody of their twin 7-year-old sons should go to the mom.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I'll be honest, that happens a lot. There's a lot of bias against dads in courtrooms anyway. Mm-hmm. But this particular mom decided that one of her sons wanted to be a girl and was going to be a girl.
So you said that right, because she decided that.
She decided.
Yep.
Yeah. So she decided that. She's a pediatrician, for God's sake.
Uh-huh. And she made this decision.
And she made this decision that her son is going to be a girl. And the jury gave that woman sole custody of their children. She's not even their biological mother.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
So it was donor eggs, right? Okay. I guess she couldn't conceive. So it was donor eggs and dad. So she carried these kids, but she's not even genetically related to them.
And this was a jury of 12 people that said, yep.
11 to 1.
Yours. Oh, wow.
11 to 1.
Whoever that one is, high
Good
five
on
to
you.
you.
Yes.
Sir, ma'am, well done.
Yes. So she decided that her son James needed to be a girl named Luna.
Why?
My friggin' cat's name is Luna. First of all, because he, I guess, liked playing with dolls. So she decided, hey, that's enough. You know what? And she put like glitter in his hair and made him wear makeup and made him wear a dress around. Funny thing, when he went over to his dad's house, he would like chuck that stuff off, refuse to wear it.
Good for you, Dad.
Yeah, good for you, Dad. So clearly this exploded on social media. This was a big deal. Mm-hmm. So that was the jury's decision, though, and there's nothing Dad can do about it. And Mom can chemically castrate this kid, you know, start him on the cross-gender hormone treatments, all that stuff, puberty blockers, which if you just even glance at any research, the link between successfully transitioning your gender and suicidality, it's insane. It's like, it's a hockey stick curve.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you were to look at all the different classes in America, however you want to separate them, the highest suicide rate will always be, well, it is and has been in the transgender group.
Yes, far and away. But so the judge actually fortunately reversed the jury's decision.
Thank goodness.
Yes, so now they have joint custody. He doesn't have sole custody of the kids, but at least he has joint custody, and she cannot start this hormone therapy, chemical castration nonsense without his consent.
Good.
Which,
so,
I mean, and to their credit, and due diligence done, the main supplier, I guess, of these drugs that do this to kids does require the consent of both parents before they'll begin treatment.
So it means it's not Planned Parenthood then.
Yeah, correct.
Thank goodness.
Right. Well, no, they wouldn't have allowed the kids to be born.
How about that?
Right. But I was just thinking, like, and he doesn't have to pay attorney's fees either, so good on that.
Who, the dad? Or?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. So I don't have a 7-year-old. I have an 8-year-old.
I as well have an 8-year-old.
Right? So you want to drive? No, you're too young. You buy cigarettes.
No.
Buy a porno magazine.
Too young.
Too young. You know, you want to vote?
Nope.
Serve the military? Nope, too young. Tell you what, but if you want to like have, you know, major life-altering chemical treatments that affect the rest of your entire life at 8 years old, you know what? You do that, son. It's your body, your choice.
Yep. You should make that decision by yourself.
On what planet does that sound like a good idea? Like, what kind of glue-sniffing... ridiculous.
So let's talk about what our 8-year-olds have identified in just the past week.
Mine identified as a velociraptor.
Mine was a ninja football star just today.
Outstanding.
Right?
I can totally see him doing
right?
that.
Make that
cat. Yes, he was also a cat today.
And a dog.
And a dog. Yep.
You should make that
a velociraptor cat dog. He actually puts on 3 different costumes. He does the Spider-Man, and then over top of that, he puts his snow leopard, and over top of that, he puts his like Komodo dragon.
Oh, it's Venom, not Spider-Man.
Venom. Yes, Venom. It's Venom. Sorry. So he's a spider leopard guana. I don't know, but
I got to say, Joe, you are raising a fantastic kid there.
I really am. I love that little dude. He's awesome.
Oh, wow.
And he's drawn his own comic books about a living stapler.
I mean, that is...
His name is Stapy. It's awesome. That kid's going to... Mark my words. Someday you are going to see Stapy comic books for sale.
Printed by Venom Cat Dog Guy. Should be his screen name.
Yes.
All right.
I love it.
Let's quickly cover some headlines that are in the mainstream media.
What you got?
So let's talk about Syria real quick because
boy.
Donald Trump is now saying that there's a permanent ceasefire over there.
Okay.
That, well, apparently it was orchestrated by the president of Russia. How do you say his name?
Vladimir Putin.
Yes, thank you
if
for
you're
doing
John
that.
Kerry. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
John Kerry.
Him and Erdogan, President Erdogan of Turkey, got together and they orchestrated this ceasefire. So the ceasefire was orchestrated by them and President Trump.
Okay.
The Kurds people were not there. They didn't have a seat at the table. They're being told, we're in a permanent ceasefire.
Okay.
So from a holistic approach, if you take this back at like the 10,000-foot view and you look down on it, sure, there might be a ceasefire. But to believe that there's a permanent ceasefire in that part of the world where there's at least a dozen different
permanent ceasefires have there been between like the PLO and the Israelis? Like 50?
Yeah, like 4 a day,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was exceptionally permanent.
Yeah, none of like some of the bigger groups like Turkey's main forces and Syria's main forces might not be firing shots right now, but I guarantee you right now there's some blasted hill over there that the YPG, the Kurdish forces, the bad ones, the radical ones, and some other Hamas, Hezbollah terrorist group are fighting over. There's no such thing as a permanent ceasefire in that part of the world.
Yeah, the only time there's actually a legitimate ceasefire is when like one or both sides runs out of bullets. And then there's a ceasefire till they can reload.
So what President Vladimir Putin and President Erdogan are doing is that they're saying that they're going to have a ceasefire, but all they want to do right now is push the Kurds back 30 miles. They need to get them on the other side of these three main cities, Tel Abyad, Ras Al Ain, and Qamishli.
Because any of our viewers know where those places are.
What's important here is that those three big cities in the north of Syria are like the cash cows there. Those are so you could take everything else away from the Kurds, and all they would want would be these three big cities, right? Because that's where your resources are. That's where everything's going through.
They want their own nation. The Kurds want Kurdistan, right? There is no Kurdistan.
Kurdistan would not just exist just in Syria. It would be part of Turkey.
It's part of Turkey, part of Syria, part of Iraq.
Yep.
Little sliver of Iran. But every one of those countries has a vested interest in not allowing the Kurds to take part of their country to form their own country.
So for them to say that we're going to have a permanent ceasefire and that this is going to work is just nonsense, because the Kurds cannot give up those three cities.
No.
Because if they lose those three cities, they literally have nothing. Even if you gave them the rest of Kurdistan, it's nothing but a desert.
It's dirt, yeah.
Yeah. So they're not going to do it. So nice try.
Yep, I give that permanent thing about 5 minutes ago.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. Okay, and real quick, we should gloss over this Ukrainian impeachment thing going on.
Is it still going on?
It's still going on because I was looking at the articles on this, and they can no longer say a whistleblower came forward or the second whistleblower came forward, because you can't even keep track anymore. It's multiple whistleblowers.
Multiple whistleblowers. Good
can't
times.
even keep track anymore.
All right.
And so the Democrats are keeping them hidden in a room, right, where they're doing their interrogating and talking to these witnesses.
Okay.
You remember what happened?
No.
That's where over 24 Republicans broke into that room so they could be a part of those
they
hearings.
stormed in. I watched them storm in. It was awesome. They kind of like waved to the reporters as they just walked through the unlocked door. Mm-hmm. Like, but if you look at MSNBC or any like the major left-leaning news organizations, like these dudes had like breaching tools and battering rams and threw flashbangs and stormed the room.
They were banging on the door, so it wasn't originally open. They didn't just walk in, but they were banging on the door and they were chatting something like "let me in" or "let us in" or something like that. But they did eventually go in. What kills me is that room is a skiff.
That's not good.
Nope. A skiff, for you civilians, is a sensitive compartmentalized information facility.
Yeah, it's classified room. And they were bringing personal cell phones in there.
Yep, personal media devices.
That is no good.
If this was to happen anywhere else besides in this zoo of a place we call Congress, on a military installation, if somebody was to walk in
walked
there,
out in handcuffs at gunpoint.
I argue that point, they would have been shot dead upon entry.
Maybe.
I've been in a skiff twice, and it is legit something out of a James Bond. I better go with Jack Ryan, or American. Keep it American. So.
Okay. I used to work in a skiff, and it was like donut wrappers and nastiness.
Really?
Yeah.
The one I went into on campaign, I mean, I don't want to get into it, but it was like dudes in the black sunglasses and black suits, like on every corner.
That was a T-skiff then.
Oh.
It was a top secret then.
Okay.
Because, yeah, ours was top secret. Never mind.
But still, they're legit.
They are.
This
yeah.
is not-
This is not someplace you go into lightly. This is not something you take anything into or out of that you are not authorized to do so, because that usually brings big guys with guns, and you go to a little fort in Kansas called Leavenworth, and you turn boulders into gravel for the rest of your life.
I mean, if we could send all of Congress to go do that, I would so be okay with that.
That would be legit.
That'd be a good job for them. They could actually get something done.
Can you imagine how much road repair we could get done around here with that?
Oh my goodness. That'd be awesome. Okay, so last thing on that is that Rudy Giuliani's thugs, the ones that actually went over to Ukraine, were actually having secret meetings, have been formally charged now.
Really?
I still don't know what that means. To me, it's still a nothing burger. I don't
know. I'll dig into it some more. Maybe there is some life in the old girl yet. And
It's like, to me, it's like a copy and paste of the whole Russian thing. Yes, some of Trump's compadres were arrested. Some of them are in jail. He had a bunch of lawyers doing dirty things.
Yep.
Rudy Giuliani had some dirty people doing dirty things.
Yep.
It's politics.
It's the nature of the beast, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, politics and corruption is like peanut butter and jelly, man.
A big nothing burger.
Oh, well.
All right, let's end on a positive note.
Yes.
Two things. The World Series. So far, so good.
So far, so good.
The Astros are beating the Nationals.
Yes. If you haven't noticed, take a look at the Washington Nationals W and the Walgreens W. They're darn near identical. So go Astros, beat Walgreens.
So right now the series is tied at 2-2. As of filming this, by the time it airs, I suspect the Astros will have won because they're winning right now 4-0. We shall see. They better win.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anybody is historically known for snatching defeat from the very jaws of victory, well, historically that's West Point, but it's also the Washington Nationals. If anybody can lose at the last second.
Let that be a thing.
Yes.
And last thing I want to talk about is Star Wars. Christmas. The 92nd movie's coming out, or the 9th, I mean.
Yeah.
Feels like we've got a lot of movies out.
I want to see it because I want to I've seen every other movie in the Star Wars franchise. I was raised on Star Wars.
Our whole generation
I was born the year the original Star Wars came out. It
didn't come out in the 1920s, dude. Nice try.
Dude, I'm not Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She was like 70 at that point. But it's been a huge part of my life. I've always loved Star Wars, and this last two movies, the last trilogy.
Yeah, not two movies. The last two trilogy sets.
Right. Well, the first three, episodes 1 through 3, sucked.
Yes.
But they were still canon Star Wars. You got to see a little bit of the backstory of how the original 3 got set up. Mm-hmm. And then from there, all aboard the frickin' crazy train, and they left at top speed, because that's what you get. Like, you are bound and determined to just not give the audience what they want.
Nope.
It started off with George Lucas having a vision that he wanted to get out on film,
and it started out awesome.
And now they have a message that, by God, you are going to hear.
And it's a socialism message.
It really is. It really is. Like, man.
You're still going to go see it, though. It's Star Wars. You can't not see it. It's un-American.
Don't
pretend. You're going to be there. You're going to be there all dressed up as Chewbacca. Come on.
I'm going to wait till the bootleg edition comes out on friggin' YouTube and then watch that.
No, you won't. You're going to be Chewbacca with a little miniature Steepy behind you. I'm telling you.
I do.
Staple hero.
Yes.
Stapy. Sorry.
Daggone, you better get my son's comic character right. Yes.
I'll be there.
All right, we'll go together. Tell you what movie we're going to go see together? Midway.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, we're having a bro date.
Right after we go see the Army-Navy game coming up in December.
Yes. Come on, Army. I know you got 3 for 3 in you. because you lost the 14 before that.
All right.
That's a jagged pill to swallow. Anyway.
Remember, Platoon, WAPO death notices. Hashtag
Yes,
WAPO
do
death
it. You have
notices.
to. It will brighten your day.
You will thank us. I promise you.
Yes.
Okay,
Anyway,
Platoon.
best audience on the internet. We love you guys.
We do.
Platoon dismissed.
Semper Fi.